What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about client to closing. This is absolutely a huge part of the client journey, and we've talked about this on this channel before, but today we're going to talk about the actual journey and what the client is feeling through that perspective. As you know, I'm building out the client journey, completely revamping the entire experience that clients have when they're working with me. So I just want to share kind of what I'm thinking from client to closing. And then in the next episode, we'll go from closing to lifelong relationship. And we'll talk about how that experience really matters, what the client is feeling, and how you as an agent should be really focusing on these high emotional times, taking care, providing A+ service, and absolutely changing the face of your business. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane here with the Real Estate Agent Playbook. Thanks so much for joining me now on YouTube and podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please comment below. Would love to keep in touch with you. If you're watching on the podcast, you like what you hear, please leave a review. Always love your feedback on all platforms. So let's kind of get into this. And the client journey is something that I kind of had to wrap my mind around. I always wanted to provide, that white glove service. But when you're producing at such a high level, sometimes, you get busy and you lose some of that extra touch. And here's the thing, those touches absolutely change the face of your business because those referrals come in. All right, so the first thing I want to do is educate. And I have a video series called The Buyer Journey. And this is it's a 20-part course, basically taking buyer from very first met you, lead, whatever that may be, all the way through closing and beyond, and just educating them on the process. And this is probably some pretty, boring content, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm providing all of my clients the complete education. Now, this does not mean I throw it in front of them and say, book a call with me when you get to video 3 or 6 or whatever. I just want to have that as a supplemental piece to my client journey because they can always go back. We all have different clients. We all have different personalities. So you have those A-type personalities that are going to fly through it. They want to get everything done. They want to know the whole process before starting. And then you have the people that just want to take it as it comes and don't want to get overwhelmed. Now, it's important to remember George Bryant's, steps to solidifying that relationship, from acknowledgement to prepare to project to pre-handle to excite. But we also want to make sure that we're focusing on getting them the proper content. If you're interested in that piece, check out my podcast I recently did on George Bryant and his amazing podcast, The Mind of George. I'll link that in the comments below, but check out the 5-step process as I go deep into that. So back to the education piece, we want to educate, we want to give them all of that information so they have it in one place, and then we can kind of refer back. And I like to not completely waste that. I can, when we get to, the inspection or whatever we're going through in the contract, I can always point them back to that video because they have access to that entire course because they're my client. So once we educate, then it's, we have to get down to the real life nitty gritty. And as you guys know, I sometimes call it a scouting trip. And that's when I, take the client out, no real strings attached, no clients, agreement signed or anything like that. I just take them out and say, let's go look at some houses, almost like it's, for fun or whatever. And then that's when I start to dial in exactly what's important to them. That's when I really get to know them and they can, have access to me. So maybe they have a question about the course, or maybe they didn't watch the course. That's when I really pour into them and help educate them one-on-one and answer their, individual questions, which is also huge because obviously the course is very general. And then we have to make that connection of how it relates to them and their situation. So again, the scouting trip is just, a get to know you. If I know you, if, you're my best friend from high school, I absolutely will still take you on a scouting trip and kind of educate you, lay out the process, because it's almost more kinesthetic at that point. And some people are kinesthetic learners, so they're learning as they're getting closer to that goal of, starting their home search. After that, then we're starting really to direct them to the lender or wherever they're going to get financing from, and making sure that that experience is good. It's copacetic. I make sure that I have really, really good industry partners. As you know, I really rely on my industry partners a ton, not only just to take care of my clients, but also to build business alongside them. So drive them to the industry partners and make sure that they're, understand what they're doing there, right? It's not just like, hey, go get pre-approved. Well, I have no idea what the pre-approval is. Well, now they do because they have the course and they have the education. And so once we do that, after we go through, that piece, then it's really important. And I do a lot of different things. In fact, I throw in some gifts at this stage. I have a damn it doll that I give all of my clients, that says, hey, this process is stressful, instead of taking it out on me or, your sibling or your wife or whoever it may be, with your frustration, take it out on this little damn it doll. And that's kind of my personality, but that kind of, loosens it up, and it makes them understand that this isn't going to be an easy process. This is a huge, purchase. It's stressful just from the money components, but we also have a lot of different moving parts and a lot of things going on. So I just give them a little something there. And then once we go under contract, I say, hey, take a night out, give them a nice gift card to a nice restaurant, and just kind of celebrate, right? Celebrate that momentum, and then kind of go back to the education piece. Hey, this is what the inspection's going to look like, so on. And it's really important that you're just open and communicating with your clients during this phase. And everyone's going to do it a little bit differently. Everyone's gifts might be a little bit different, but I'm just saying, like, we can't just throw this course at them and be like, here you go. Like, call me when you want to look at houses, call me when, we can close and I can get my check. Like, you have to understand that the course is just a supplement. And then we're constantly updating them, every week. And I think this is something that I struggle with at times. Like, if we, are through inspection and appraisal early on, we have a long time. There's a time where I'm not doing a ton of talking. And that's important to understand, is you don't always have to do a ton of talking, but just reaching out and being a voice of, hey, anything going on, anything confusing, because after the appraisal, or definitely after the inspection, I say, hey, it's kind of in the lender's hands at this point. Do a lot of communicating with them, get them their stuff. I don't need a whole lot from you until we get past that clear to close, from the lender, or, whatever. And so you can imagine that when it's a cash transaction, there's a huge gap of time. And this is time that you really need to capitalize of just being available, right? Just answering questions. Hey, is it time to pack? Hey, do you have a moving company? And this is where I really start to make all those connections, because I want to be the person that they call for every single thing that they need if they can't do it themselves. Hey, I need a cake baked for my daughter's birthday. Hey, I want a good birthday party venue, or whatever. If I can be that person and kind of the mayor of the town, but also the person that they call for every little thing, then they're going to respond by, always having me top of mind. Because, when they're at a party and someone says, hey, my furnace broke down, they say, hey, call my realtor, Jeremy. He has a great HVAC guy, I'm sure. And that's just expanding your network again, finding those people that are going to connect you. And if you connect with them and solve a problem for them at that point, then you're absolutely going to capitalize on that. A lot of people, ask for testimonials in this time. It's kind of the feel-good time. It's not as stressful as closing. After closing, then moving. I typically wait until after, just because I want a complete picture, but I should probably change that as well. So when I'm doing all of these things, it's just part of their journey. Every single person feels special in their journey, because one thing that a lot of real estate agents and realtors do is, we do this every single day. So it becomes automatic, and you say, I'll handle that. I can do that. Don't worry about this, and they're just like robots, and they're not having that experience. But if you're really dialing into them, helping educate them, they will absolutely have good things to say about you when the time comes for a testimonial, or when you're asking them for referrals. They'll be like, yeah, I can actually refer you, because it wasn't just like a transaction. It wasn't like step A through Z. Okay, see you later, never talk to you again, because it's building that start and the foundation of the lifelong relationship. So I think during this contract process, first of all, it's very easy to have these touches and, educate upfront across the whole process, and then educate as you go through, and educate them as different things come up, because obviously a general video on, inspections may not cover everything that happened at their actual inspection. So as long as we're able to do that, we're going through the process. Being there, being present is huge for the entire journey of the client. So in that space, we have built-in touches. We don't even have to get creative, because we have the contract to guide us through. And if you throw a couple gifts in, you throw that kind of stuff in, it really helps. So that's kind of my focus, is building this client journey. I want it to be perfect while they're in the transaction. And things come up, and sellers will be sellers and buyers will be buyers, and there will be some confrontation, negotiations, things like that. And that's why we're here as real estate agents. That's why we still have a job, is because computers can't replace, that human touch and that human experience. So why aren't we capitalizing on it more and making sure that we're really into it? And I will tell you, I recently partnered with 3 members of my group, myself and 2 other top producing agents, sold literally like 140 homes over the last year, and 70 million. That doesn't really matter, but we all had little gaps in our journey from lead to lifelong relationship, and each one of us was good at different, segments. And so we had some overlap and stuff like that. But that's what we're doing right now with our group, is we're providing them a buyer journey. Everybody in our group, whether they're in our downline or not, is receiving our training on how we develop this buyer client journey. And it's super powerful, and it's super important to kind of continue to look back at that. And the most important thing is build it off of your personality, right? If you don't ever cuss or whatever, and you're handing over a damn it doll to these people, they're going to be like freaked out and completely character change. So it's important that you find little things that kind of fit your personality, fit your client avatar, your target, and really make sure that you're dialing into that. And once you do that, if you can have like an entire journey, then all of a sudden your emails and your videos and all the things that you do will kind of all start to meld together and be in line with each other to absolutely convert at the highest level. So if you have any questions about that, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. You can always text me or DM me on Instagram at RE Agent Playbook. I'm super excited to help you guys all the ways I possibly can, and keep winning at the game of real estate. But this is important because we get so focused on leads, we get so focused on closings, that we don't really focus on this journey, and it's absolutely key to our success. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.